WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom, it's Tanner. What's up, bud?
Nothing much, man. You know, just feeling good. Season's about over. We're getting a lot of really cool endings, a lot of cool stats. It's a cool year, man.
It has been a fun year outside of Chicago and the NHL season. And yeah, mercifully, we're going to be put out of our misery with the Blackhawks in just one day now after gets posted. But yeah, so season's winding down. Let's just get into it really quick with Hawks talk, and then there's a lot to talk about at NHL. Because it's all the fun stuff. So let's focus on that. This past week since we last recorded, the Hawks went 1-3. Their lone win came last Tuesday against Calgary, which saw them win 4-3. For some reason, the Hawks just fucking have Calgary's number this year.
As we all predicted, the Hawks would sweep the season series against the Calgary Flames, the former Pacific #1 seed of last year.
I had Calgary as my Western Conference team in the cup this year, so that hurts. But it was kind of nice, you know. The Hawks, if we're gonna get a win, one, Peter Mrazek finally gets in the win column.
Yes,
after so many good starts and just not being able to get it. And two, if we are gonna win, at least we played a part in spoiling Calgary Flames season.
Yeah, man,
kind of fun.
They literally needed to, not win just this game, but if they would have won any of the games against us, they would still be in it. But now they're eliminated. And I think I've seen things online where like Flames fans are upset about the game that they had against Nashville, but more so upset by the fact that they didn't get a fucking win against the Hawks the entire year.
So funny. That's 3 wins. That's 6 points right there that the Flames threw out by not being able to beat the lowly Chicago Blackhawks.
Right. And the stats that the Flames have of like losing 1-goal games in regulation or in losing games in OT or hitting the post, like they just had a pretty just unlucky season. And it's hilarious because they had the craziest offseason too.
Yeah. Between Calgary and Vancouver, who the Hawks played the following or a couple days after them, I don't think there's been 2 teams with worse luck this year. Obviously Vancouver, it's a sign of like bad teams blowing multi-goal, but the amount of multi-goal leads that Vancouver blew this year, like, is there any 2 teams that just had like a worse like span of games than these 2?
Honestly, I don't think there is like anything that memorable. Like there's teams that had bad stretches or just like bad bounces that like came out, but like, man, oh man, like talk about 2 teams that could have made the playoffs if they hadn't just fucked up or gotten so unlucky.
Oh man. So against Calgary, the goals, Anthony CU scored 2, Kara scored 1, and Austin Wagner got his first as the Blackhawk, which would eventually be the game winner. Then moving on across Canada, against the Vancouver Canucks, the Hawks got shut out. I think it was the 9th time they got shut out this season.
Is it really? That's a lot. It didn't seem like there's been that many.
I think that's what I saw. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a stat guy.
I feel like it's only like 4 or 5, but they did lose a lot of games.
Let's see really quick. This one, yeah. This was all Vancouver. It was one of those games that everything people kind of listed as like, oh, it could be exciting to watch Vancouver because they're still kind of fighting for it. But yeah, I don't know. Just nothing there.
Yeah, man, that Andrei Kuzmenko kid had a really good season in his first year coming over from Russia. Right now, they have like probably 2 games left. I don't know if they're playing tonight, but he has 38 goals and 33 assists for 71 points in 79 games.
Oh shit!
Like how quietly did somebody on that team put it together like almost a point per game season with almost 40 goals?
7. Oh, I'm counting shutouts right now. 7.
Damn, really?
Yeah,
that's not good. But yeah, Vancouver.
Yeah, it was a ninth shutout.
I think Vancouver, it's kind of been that way for them since COVID. Is like they start the season slow, or they get screwed over by like delay. Like during the COVID seasons, like they had so many delays, and then there was at one point where they had 16 games in like 20 days or some shit. That's like a super exaggeration, but just the just them getting tired out like that because of the postpones and everything. But
Yeah.
they still get these last little boosts toward the ends of the season where you're like, they can make it, and then it's like a little bit too late, too short, too late.
There's really nothing that they can do right now to fix this team, because it's like they're full of bad contracts and they don't have cap space. So it's like it's gonna be a couple years of just shit for them. They gotta like somehow, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they can do.
I think one of my favorite things that happened for them was the fact that they traded us Jason Dickinson
Oh yeah,
for Riley Stillman, and I think we got a pick out of that too. I just want to check.
I believe so. Wasn't it like a second?
I think it's a second next year. Let me check here. Yeah, a second round pick next year for Riley Stillman. We got Jason Dickinson, who was a very effective forward this year for us. I think he's really built up some value for next season.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna be trade bait next year for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like as much as I like having him on the team, I think he would also appreciate the like going to a team that's going to be making it to the playoffs.
Just think Lafferty. Like
yeah, exactly.
Same situation there.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of positives going on this year, even in some of these games. Like there's still a bunch of like good takeaways from it. Like at no point in most of the games, I would say there wasn't ever really a point, unless it was like the end of the game, obviously, that I felt like the Hawks were really out of it. But they just work so fucking hard, man. And like that's all I really wanted this year, is just for the team to like work hard.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into it more next week once the season's officially over for the Hawks and we kind of do like our season wrap up and all that. But you know what? Hats off to Coach Richardson, man. He said, hey, he goes, if we're not gonna win games, we're gonna make it fucking hard for everybody else, for the teams we're playing to get those 2 points. And you know what? I think he stuck to his word, and this team, like you said, it doesn't look on paper, it doesn't look very good, but
yeah,
a lot of good takeaways from the season. And I'm really excited to kind of talk about it next year, or not next week, and then kind of just see the building blocks now that the rebuild, I think, is officially able to begin. Like this was the last phase of the teardown. Now it's time for the rebuild to go up.
Yes. I would completely agree with that, because now that there's really nothing of like extreme value that we had from last season still with the team, we're literally at bottom.
Yeah, so
it's crazy, man. Like who on this team right now would you like get their jersey and expect them to be on the team in 4 years still?
Nobody. Yeah, I don't think anybody.
Reichel,
Radish, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But then again, I also thought Hagel was going to be on this team for a while, and they're like the same player.
Well, we got Radish out. Yeah, that's the thing. We got Taylor Radish from Hagel, and he's turning into like a really solid player that maybe we get another trade out of, and like maybe we get another Taylor Radish or Brandon
it's
Hagel.
So funny. It's like why would we trade Brandon Hagel for a potential Brandon Hagel? And then it's like, oh, cool, we got a Brandon Hagel in that trade. Cool. So why would you trade a Taylor Radish for potential Taylor Radish?
Yeah,
it's out so far. So
hey, you could take the boat, baby. Or you could take the mystery box. Oh, we gotta take the mystery box. But the mystery box could be anything. It could be a boat.
Yes.
I fucking love it,
man. All right. So then after that, on Saturday, the Hawks played the Kraken in Seattle. This was all Seattle. Hawks shot this one 7-3. Seth Jones put up 2 goals, including a power play goal, which is very rare for the defenseman on this organization. Lucas Reichel would end up putting up his last goal in the NHL this season
as a Blackhawk.
Yeah, his last NHL season.
Or last game of the season for the Hawks.
For the Hawks, as he got sent, him and Vlasic got sent down.
And Vlasic assisted on his goal too.
Yeah, on Monday. But yeah, so Reichel picked up his 7th of the season, which, again, speaking about stuff going into the season, I know a lot of people were kind of like, oh, Reichel should have been on the scene from the get-go. He should be, he's ready to play all the minutes, and have a big role on this team. But I think him going down to the AHL to start the season was hands down ended up being the best decision for him, because he looks like a completely different player than he did last year in his few games, and even this past preseason games that he played in. He looked like a completely different player.
Dude, he is so awesome. I'm so excited to watch him like just progress still, because like this isn't even it. And he's doing so well on a team that has like no other really good offensive tools around him. And it's just like, man, that's so exciting to see. I'm sure it's kind of like in a rough comparison, like when McDavid first went to Edmonton, and like they literally had no other offensive pieces besides like Nugent Hopkins, but they're both centers, so they barely played with each other.
Yeah.
And like Draisaitl wasn't like as monstrous as he is now, so it was just kind of like, all right, like him playing like insanely better than everybody else is like awesome to watch, and I can't wait till we get pieces that actually fit with him to be such an incredible line.
It's going to be super exciting, especially if the Hawks end up with the top 3 pick.
Yeah.
And mixing in Reichel, and if Nazar turns out to be, the player that he's being projected to be, plus if you land the Bedard, Fantilli, all that kind of stuff, like, man, the pieces are there, man. I'm telling you, the pieces are there. Yeah. It's just the patience has got to be there to like let this all develop and mature the right way. We can't get too fucking overzealous
don't want to get
too early.
Don't want to start shooting for the moon like way too soon and start signing contracts for guys that come in and be a big part of this team when it's not ready and it's not time,
Yeah. And then so last night, which as we're recording this, Minnesota came in to town and the Hawks dropped that one 4-2. It was a little interesting. Hawks were up 2-1 with about 6 minutes left in the game. And Minnesota finally woke up, come back. Marcus Johansson scores twice. Nyquist. Oh, I forgot Nyquist is back already.
Yeah. He's been back since he's been back for a few games. I was looking into that recently too. But he's doing well in Minnesota.
Yeah, man, Minnesota. God.
Yeah, he's got. Oh, never mind. He's only played 2 games for Minnesota. He's got 3 points.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Minnesota's one of those teams. I mean, I think they could be a dark horse in the West for the playoffs, man. They seem to
yeah. They're solid, and now they got Kaprizov back too, which he didn't play last night. They didn't play any of their like big, or not any, but they didn't play a majority of their big guys like Kaprizov and Zuccarello and Brodin, and I think Dumba didn't play either. And I was like, fuck, man, that's not good for the Hawks, because like we want to stay in last. And so like just following along on my phone, because I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I was like, man, there's like 10 minutes left in this third period. We're still up 2-1. Like something's got to break right now, please. And luckily enough, I mean, unluckily enough, but the Hawks ended up losing, which is good because we're just kind of in a race for last right now with Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, so looking at the standings, so like we said before, the Hawks finished 1-3 this past week. Looking ahead to, as we're recording this, they're playing Pittsburgh right now at 0-0 after 1. And then Thursday will be the last game of the regular season against the Philadelphia Flyers in Chicago. Going to be a big game for a reason we'll get to in a second here. But looking at the standings right now, Hawks at 80 games played at 56 points. Columbus is at 79 games played at 56 points as well, but they own the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
As the tiebreaker for
as the worst team, because I think it's regulation wins.
Well, we're tied at regulation wins.
Oh, regulation plus overtime wins then. And they're losing right now too.
Oh wait, no, regulation. No, regulation win. We have more regulation wins.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why were we being last then?
Right now, because we have a worse winning percentage.
Right, because we have that extra game right now.
Yeah.
And who's winning right now?
Philly.
Fuck you,
dude. Columbus, how are you so bad? Like, you have pieces.
So the best the Hawks can do finish the season is 60 points.
And that's
Wait.
if they win tonight.
Right. So that
Like-
would put them.
I don't understand this team. They got Johnny Gaudreau playing, Kent Johnson, Jack Roslovic. Like, those guys alone are probably better than almost our entire team.
See, this is why I don't buy the whole we're not throwing or tanking games. You're telling me 3 games left in the season. The potential of a Connor Bedard is sitting there for you guys, and you as a player who arguably wants to win. I mean, Columbus has got some talent. And it's like you're telling me they're not going to be like, you know what? Let's just fucking suck the last 3 games and, give us the best chance. Like, that's bullshit. Like, I don't believe that it's not on the player's mind. I understand when there's like 3 weeks left in the year, a month left in the season. That's one thing. But when you're in the last week of the season and you're essentially playing for first or second to last, you're telling me you're not throwing fucking games, you're not giving it your all out there.
I'm just like looking at like there's no UFAs on their team that are like pretty much done. Everybody's got term on their contract, so it's like they'll all be on this team basically next year if they I mean don't get traded. But they'll all basically be on this team next year with whatever high draft pick they get, right?
So like Antelli, like, and you're gonna
like if you were looking as like Johnny Gaudreau, who just signed like a huge ticket, and you're like, I can get the chance to play with this really talented kid that's supposed to be coming up. It's like maybe I just won't go super hard.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, what a tiny ass line that's gonna be. How funny would that line be though? Like Bedard and then Gaudreau and then also just Patty Line, 6'4", just mad like monster fucking just on the other wing.
Gotta throw some strength out there with him.
Yeah, Jesus.
But yeah,
hurt? Where the fuck is he?
Line?
Yeah. Why isn't he playing tonight?
He's hurt again.
Is he?
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with that guy?
But yeah, so 2 games left. Who does Columbus have left after this?
Pittsburgh and
Buffalo.
Buffalo, that's right.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean they pretty much need to win this game because I don't know if they win either of those unless like Buffalo gets absolutely eliminated and then they just go ahead and shut some guys down or something. I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the playoff race in the NHL talk, but fucking look at Buffalo, man. Let's go. Can you imagine if you picked up John Gibson?
Yeah, right? Like, if they actually made son of a bitch.
Some other news in the Hawks world. Taylor Radish is out for the season with a groin injury. Not that it's like a big thing, it's just because it's the injury he has. It's like 2-week recovery, and obviously there's not 2 weeks left in the season, so he is done for the year. Had a career year stat wise.
Yeah, I mean,
37.
It's like his first full season too, though.
I mean, and he showed a lot that he can be a big part of the offense for this team going forward, because like once the trade deadline passed, he was kind of relied on heavily offensively, and he was up to the task, it looked like. So I'm super excited to see what he does. As you got to imagine, he's the guy next year, unless we get but
yeah.
So, couple signings. Tenorti signed a 1-year extension with a cap hit of $1.25 million.
Hell yeah.
Which you said in our group chat. Hopefully that means Caleb Jones is out the door with that.
Yeah, man. Like, I think there's like I don't know, there's a place for Caleb Jones on a team where they have like a really solid like shutdown defenseman to play alongside of him, because that like he's
such a liability out there.
He's such a liability, but he also just doesn't have the offensive consistency to pull off the shit that he tries to pull off.
Yeah.
Like he wants to be Seth Jones so bad. I was just saying, and like Seth Jones wants to be Seth Jones so bad, and like they can't. like Seth Jones is doing a better job at being the Seth Jones that like plays really well and like has those games where he's got point streaks and everything like that. But like
Jones wants to play like Seth Jones, and Seth Jones wants to play like Seth Jones, but he's really playing like Caleb Jones.
Yeah, at times.
Yeah.
I just want more consistency out of him. But I mean, Yeah, like I'd rather have like that roster spot for those young guys that we have like rotating in and out with like Vlasic, like even Wyatt Kaiser. Like when I've been watching the games, like he's been looking good. He's been looking confident too, which is I just love when you see confident defensemen because that's what they need so badly. Like if you have no confidence, then you have no chance. Like
Right.
watching them lead the rush up the ice or pinching at the blue line to keep the puck in or like getting it down low, like those offensive ways that they're showing that kind of confidence makes you just for sure they're not skittish in the defensive zone. Then like
Yeah.
they're not afraid to go into the corners. They're not afraid to battle in front of that when they it's just I love that shit. Like and that shit doesn't show up on the score sheet really. But
And
yeah, man, it's exciting to see that rotating door of those young guys coming in because like each time basically there's always been like good points to like what they brought to the team. And then it's kind of like it rotated somebody else out and we got to see somebody else doing some good stuff. And it was a really cool part of the season. I really enjoyed watching and like I said, like hopefully with Caleb Jones not being on this team anymore, like that means that they get more of that time because
yeah.
right now going into next season, the veterans on the team that are signed are going to be Seth Jones, Nikita Zaitsev, Connor Murphy, and Jared Tenorti. Those are the guys that have contracts for next year.
Do you think it's easier for these younger defensemen to come up to the NHL, at least for the Hawks, and play with this confidence because there's no expectations?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's a
absolutely.
lot of like stress-free hockey for them at this point that they can get a handle of the game, and it's not like you're blowing
Yeah.
an opportunity to make the playoffs or
You're
advance
not
to the cup final or anything like
you're
that.
not like 2019 Hawks with bringing Adam Boqvist in at like 19, 20 years old and being like, hey man, like you got to run this for a bit. Like your second line power play, like you need to be like on it. And it's
Yeah.
just like, no man, like he needed to fucking cook some more in the like in the smaller leagues, in the CHL and then fucking the AHL. But
Which
yeah, that
makes
was that was just like not good.
Yeah, and you think about that, and which kind of makes sense that you're running all these younger guys up, and you're letting a player like Korchinski play and stay in juniors, play out there, get the experience and all that kind of stuff going. Because when he gets the call, I think he's going to be expected to jump into that big role. Maybe not like the power play one unit or something like that, but I think he'll be like the second unit of the that secondary on the top four kind of situation. So
I
um
think unlike the guys that we have rotating in currently, I don't think he's going to get that chance. I think they're going to give him that like Reichel treatment where it's like you're going to stay in the AHL and you're going to do it until you dominate.
yeah.
And then once you dominate, guess what? You'll probably come up and be first line fucking defense pairing like right away
Yeah.
rather than like, let's get you some games. I mean, I'm sure they'll work him in when there's injuries and stuff, but like, I'm sure that the plan will be like, you're going to sit in the AHL and fucking tear it up and just get bigger, get confident, and then fucking come into the NHL just guns blazing.
And here's the thing, if you're looking for like a comparison, I'm talking about like maturity lit, like waiting to develop and all that kind of stuff for a defenseman. Look at Rasmus Dahlin from Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
He got thrown in right away, 18 years old, and all this kind of situation. And just this past last year, and then like this year for sure, was the first time that he really was like this dominant like, oh, that's why he was the first overall pick. Like
Yeah.
these young defensemen take time to develop. I know we preach this a lot, but it's like that's what you gotta kind of expect. So
That's the perfect example too, because like
yeah,
when you're thinking first overall picks now, like you're like, oh, these guys are coming in right away and making an impact, and it's like, oh, is Darlene like not that kind of a guy? It's like you look at what he's done this year, and you're like, damn, he's real fucking
yeah.
good. Like, and he's gonna be getting better because he's what like 22.
Dude, he's young. If I
Because that was what was that 2019 or
29, he's 22. Yeah, 2018.
oh hey 2018. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
But god damn, yeah, he's gonna be real fucking good. So far this year, what he's got 15 goals, 57 assists, 90 penalty minutes. He shoots, he's got almost 200 shots, 105 hits, 128 blocks. Like he's just very well rounded.
he's being talked about for like Norris consideration.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm sure he's gonna win a Norris soon. It's gonna be that's one of the crazy things too, is like it's gonna be a real tough Norris like every year when you got Cale Makar, Adam Fox, Quinn Hughes, fucking Ryan Smith-Dahlin, he's going to be
Fucking
popping in.
EK65 comes out of nowhere again.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other guys that are just going to start putting up monster seasons because like scoring's just going up. Like it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, Victor Hedman's still in the league. Roman Yossi's still in the league. Like those guys can be worse, but yeah, that's going to be really interesting. So that entire conversation came from Tenorti signing a 1-year deal.
Yes, that's right.
And then the other contract that was signed was Drew Commesso signed his entry level deal, 3 years. Was it 945,000?
925.
925.
That's like I think that's the max DLC.
Yeah. So that is going to be very interesting to see how they handle the situation.
Did you say he's foregoing his senior season?
Well, he signed a contract. He's got
right. That's what I'm saying. Like when he signed it, like he's foregoing his senior year.
You can't go to NCAA and have a
right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like he had the opportunity to go back, but he decided to sign instead.
I thought you were asking if he was first season. Okay, never mind.
No.
You're good.
But he had, I think this year he had like started kind of slow, but he ended with like a pretty good season. Let's see. I hate that. I mean, Cat Friendly doesn't like to show like very good stats for like NCAA or just goalies in general because it just shows 34 games played with a 2.46 and a 9.13. But I think he had a record of like 24, 9-1 or something like that.
He was really good. He made it to the Frozen Four. Just got fucking pounced on by Minnesota. Did you see? I forgot who was it, but that player in Minnesota that goes between the leg pass. Oh my god, just comes around behind the net, not even looking, just goes between the legs, slides right over to I don't know who what, and just they fucking buried it. I mean, Minnesota looked so good that game. But yeah, so how they're gonna handle it's gonna be interesting. He is 22 or 20 years old, so he's still fairly young for goalie prospect. You have to imagine he is gonna spend some time in the AHL this year. I still think unless a contending team makes a really good offer, I think Stalock should be coming back. I
don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because that wouldn't make sense. Unless you're going to just sit Drew, unless you're going to sit Commesso. Like, if you re-sign Stalock, then you have Mrazek and Stalock. But then in the AHL, you still have Stauber, Arvidsson, and then Commesso.
Always forget about the other AHL guys.
That's what I'm saying. I think Stalock's out unless they plan on moving Mrazek because he's only got 1 year left at this point.
I think Stalock played himself off this team regardless.
I think he deserves to play for at least a team that could use a more solid backup.
Yeah.
What's a team that's basically sitting on the outside? I have Buffalo, if they were, I don't even know what their contracts look like for their goalies, but he's a better option than fucking Craig Anderson, right? I mean, maybe Stalock just had an insane season and he's not a better option, but Craig Anderson's done after this year. Oh yeah, they have Devin Levi or Levy. I don't know how they pronounce his name. Eric Comrie, and they're not going to sign him. Maybe fucking Ottawa. They just had injury issues like crazy. I'm also pretty sure Cam Talbot was I'm not signing.
Yeah.
Who else?
Pittsburgh could always use a better goalie.
I mean, even the Islanders, I think Varlamov's last season is this year, and he was making $5 million. So you can probably get Stalock cheap and put that $5 million towards someone else, but that's Lou Lamoriello, so who knows?
St. Louis, if they're not gonna fucking get out from underneath Bennington.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you could. He should get a decent little bump in pay at least.
Maybe Arizona will sign him after getting shut up by him twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I was thinking maybe Arizona. No, not Florida.
No, Florida's so many goalie options on there.
Go back to San Jose. I mean, Dallas. Dallas wouldn't be bad. Do they still have? Oh, they still have Wedgwood. Never mind.
The only way I can see him, if he does sign with Chicago, I think that's a sign that they don't believe in whoever's in Rockford.
You could sign in Winnipeg. Yeah. I mean, you could just roll 3 goalies. I don't know what the deal is with the AHL, but if they could just roll 3 goalies, like that wouldn't be a terrible option because I mean, eventually Mrazek and Stalock are going to get hurt if that's the case. Like, kind of just the way the season went, you can kind of expect it and might as well just sign them just in case and be like, once they go down, like, we're going to bring them up, rotate them through. Like, Arvidsson got to start, and then Stauber came in, played fantastically, set a record for, like, most consecutive wins as a rookie.
Dylan Wells played really well before, and then he for a couple games got
shipped out to Dallas. But I mean, I don't think he's going to be on the team, but I don't know. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting how they again. I mean, we talk about letting defensemen develop. Goalie is a completely different fucking game. There's a reason why you don't see a lot of young goalies stepping up right away. Like, you have a chance. I mean, they could do something big, but then it's like you have. I mean, look at Carter Hart, who came in very young, had a lot of high expectations on him to be the savior of Philadelphia, and he's got no consistency, and it doesn't help that the team in front of him is not the greatest.
Oh yeah, I mean that team fellow has been like declining ever since he like took over the net. But yeah, he came in at 20 years old. Jesus Christ, 20 years old. I don't know. It doesn't. This doesn't show how many games? Oh, here we go. He had 31 games played as a 20-year-old and had a .917 save percentage. Like, that's pretty goddamn good.
And then you also got Spencer Knight, who came in pretty young too. I think he came in at 19.
Did he really?
Well, he's 21 now.
Oh shit, yeah then.
Yeah, 19. He played 3 or 4 games when he was 19. And he went 4-0. 4-0 only 8 goals against. Fuck.
Not too shabby. And then yeah,
Spencer Knight's like the best case scenario. He in 57 games, he's 32, 17, and 6. That's if Drew can come in and do that right away. Awesome.
I still think like let him sit for a bit. Yeah, like 100%. I mean, at that point when Carter Hart came in, I think Philly was still trying to make it at least. And like obviously with Florida, like they had the option when they had Drieger, and they're like, well, Spencer Knight came in and played well enough, like he could just take over. He's a cheaper option and he's younger and he'll just get more ice time. But I don't know if that's been like the best scenario. Let's see, where was Philly in 2018-19? 82 points. I mean, they were 500. I don't know what their deal was.
6 in the Metro.
Oh, that year they played 8 goalies. That's why.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I forgot about that. Yeah, they played everybody and anybody that they could.
So yeah, it will be interesting. I'm very excited to see how they handle it. I'm very excited for him coming in too. Like I think he's going to be a great option.
Yeah. I just hope that they don't. I mean, I think that they already know what they're doing anyway. Like they're not rushing Reichel, and he's probably the best option that we've got out of like our young guys. So they clearly have their heads on right, where they're not going to rush a goalie and a defenseman. Like they're already taking their time on our best forward. So I think we'll be okay.
So I was pulling up the Hawks Instagram for the next thing we're going to talk about really quick, and foreshadowing for the last thing we'll talk about with Hawks Talk. Man, they're really hitting home that this is it for Taves.
Yeah.
All the stuff. Every post is like got Taves in it. But okay. Before we get to talk about that, Hawks announced that head athletic trainer Mike Gapsky is going to be retiring at the end of the season. He's like the longest one team tenured athletic trainer in NHL history, I believe.
Yeah.
36 NHL seasons, 2,758 regular season games, 249 playoff games, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. He has worked with 53.1% of players in the Blackhawks history,
which is insane.
That's fucking insanity.
The Hawks have had 100 years of history, and he's worked with half of the players.
That's fucking nuts. So congratulations on an amazing career, much earned. retirement
Yeah,
for him on that one. Yeah, just everybody's leaving. Everybody's abandoning ship.
pretty much.
I think that just leaves essentially the longest reigning as the equipment manager now, Parchi. He's probably like the last man.
Hayes is technically still there.
So we'll get into that now. Yeah, end of an era.
Yeah, man. They're all gone if this is truly it.
It's
Could Thursday be the last game from anybody a part of the Hawks dynasty?
It sounds like yes. I think
Oh
it
yeah.
sounds like no matter what, whether Taves decides to play another NHL game, Thursday is the last time he will do it wearing a Chicago Blackhawks sweater. And that's fucking depressing.
Like, is that true rebuild starting? Because it's officially end of a chapter.
Yeah, I mean,
Because like this is I mean, I guess it wouldn't say end of a chapter, man. Like this is end of the first edition or not first edition. Let's say like I
this
don't
book is
know.
over. This book in the series is over.
This book is finished. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's definitely not the first edition because there's so much history, but this entry in the series is officially done. And then the next entry starts and it says, and with the first overall pick, the Chicago Blackhawks. Oh God.
It's so crazy because it's like I still remember where I was when the Blackhawks drafted Taves. I still remember where I was when the Blackhawks drafted Kane. I remember where I was when watching Taves score that first goal on his first shot on his first shift as a member of the Chicago Blackhawk. And it's like how long ago that really is. Like when you look back at how long that was.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck, man.
Yeah. Get ready to feel that feeling all over again.
Dude, it sucks. It really does. And I know it's the right move, but it's like part of me too is like, fuck you, Davidson. Like let this
It's
guy.
not.
No,
I mean,
I know. But I'm just like,
he's got his head like not in the clouds of nostalgia. Like
exactly. No, and
he's
it's
like,
right.
this is not that team. This will not be that team ever again. And like we need to move forward if we want any chance of having a team quite like that.
Fuck you, Davidson, and making us face reality and
Yeah,
being
right.
level-headed and
And making
realistic about
smart
this.
moves and motherfucker.
This was NHL 23. I'd be signing Taves to an 8-year deal at the cheapest level I could possibly do.
You're gonna die on this team. I just like if he doesn't end up continuing his career, I would just really hope that like they announce that he's a part of the organization like immediately. Like, how cool would it be if he was just all of a sudden like on the bench, like as a coach?
I don't think he'd be a good coach.
No,
I think he'll be more. I think he's going to be a Stevie Y.
yeah, more of a GM.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's.
like he goes front office.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that too, where they announce that he's like head of player personnel or something like
it's
that.
funny. It's funny how the better the player is in their career, the worse of a coach they end up being.
Yeah, I mean, if you just strictly look at like Gretzky.
I mean, there's not like, but it's like it seems like all the guys that the most successful coaches in NHL are the guys that they may have long careers, but they weren't
Yeah.
anything like okay.
Yeah, because I'm sure they're not coaching like, I mean, all you got to do is just toe drag and lift it top shelf. Like, can't you do that on the fourth line? What are you fucking doing?
Like Richardson had a very average career.
Mhm.
What was it? Mike Sullivan had a very average career. He's a great coach. Yeah, Trotz,
Yeah,
like all these guys, it's like you hear them like, what?
Hawks scored.
Damn it!
They're taking the lead on Pittsburgh. It's funny.
Well, if we're gonna lose the Bedard, we might as well fucking ruin people's seasons. Ruin the
Yeah, I mean, how crazy would it be if basically Pittsburgh misses the playoffs and Calgary, because Calgary is already missing it because they couldn't beat us when it really mattered.
It would be. I mean, that would be.
Oh,
Crazy.
Okay, yeah, we're still talking about Taser. It's just like I was gonna say, are we moving on to the NHL talk yet?
Oh. But no, you were saying like obviously you didn't read the article you said, but there was like the whole spit of for Taze, if it's not hell yeah, it's hell no
Yeah,
going into next season. And it's like, is there ever any comfort knowing that he could potentially be going out as a Hawk? Or does it just not even matter?
I at this point, like everybody has gone out like in completely different ways. Like I just expect it to not be as a Hawk at this, like right, like
Yeah.
what are the expectations? Like nobody has been able to do it. Like not a single player has gone out on their own terms as a Blackhawk from that era.
This is the closest it's gonna get to it.
Yeah. And it's not really like of course he wants to keep playing. It's not like, oh, I think it's time to hang him up. It's like, man, I can't do
Yeah.
it. And like Jesus Christ, it's so fucking stupid. But
And it's gonna go
three
down.
cups, baby.
Yeah,
Three
three
cups.
cups. He's gonna go down as one of the greatest captains in Blackhawk. I mean, shit, in NHL history too. I mean, people don't give him enough. Like, it's crazy that it's like he does get credit and people do see him, but I don't think he's truly appreciated across the league
Yeah.
for what his ability is and what he did because he was a Blackhawk.
Oh, absolutely. It's I mean, I think that a lot of people now that watch hockey just don't understand how fucking good he was, like in all of those cup runs and how he, when it was like time for Team Canada to have a team like or being put together, and Crosby's like, I gotta make sure it's cool with Jonathan Taves if I can be the captain because like
Yeah, like
he fucking believed that he deserved it too. Like
for Crosby to say that, I mean, that's
right,
saying something. Holy
he just hit 1,500 points too.
man, it sucks getting old. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just thinking about all these guys growing up we were watching, and like they're coming to the end of their careers now.
Well, yeah, it makes you just feel older because like these guys have all been like our age like the entire time.
Ta-
It's like so you feel like you could relate so much more to them.
yeah, except they're retiring and having millions and millions of dollars, and we're their age, and we still have years of work and nowhere near millions of dollars in our name. But
Eh,
uh, all right.
at least I can keep doing what I like to do.
Shots fucking fired. All right. Anything else for Hawks talk?
uh, no. Oh, who are your three Hawks of the week? That's what
Oh,
I was gonna go.
fuck. I didn't even think about that.
Athanasiou had 5 points in 4 games. Reichel had 4 points in 3 games. That's kind of like the big point. Mrazek got
Those
a
two,
W.
those two and Mrazek.
Yeah, Mrazek got the much needed W
Mrazek gets
against
the first
Calgary
star for finally getting a win.
and basically eliminating Calgary's hopes
Yeah.
of making it to the playoffs.
Athanasiou got the second star, and Reichel got the third. Boom.
Yes.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
All right. NHL talk real quick here. Um, by God, they did it. The Boston Bruins have set the record for most wins in NHL history with 63. I think they need, what is it, one more point or two more points for most points
Oh, really?
in NHL history.
Maybe. I
It's
don't follow that one.
it's gonna be really great when they get bounced first round.
Honestly, they're gonna they're gonna have such a target on them. Like I don't know. We'll see. They really need to bring the heat like even harder.
They got the Islanders first round if things end the way right how they are right now.
As they're lined up.
Yeah, I mean that could be a battle.
Has Barzell been cleared yet?
I'm sure he will be by Monday or Tuesday whenever the playoffs start.
Just like Mark Stone in Vegas. Oh, playoffs about to start? Hey, it's crazy. This guy's
Oh
healthy
my
now.
god, my back is automatically feeling better.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
As far as I know, Barzell's still not cleared, but could be. sometime soon.
When do the playoffs actually start? Is it Tuesday?
When do they start? I don't know. I never thought about it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't checked yet because the matchups haven't been set. It doesn't. Does it have it anywhere?
Oh,
Oh, okay. Is this new? NHL to visit Australia for the first time in September
oh yeah. Isn't it like Kings and
in Arizona? Hmm.
April 17th?
Okay, that's when the playoffs start.
Yeah.
That's Monday.
Fuck. I was hoping it'd be like Wednesday so we could get our playoff episode.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. Well, so that sucks.
So
Last games are Friday.
yeah, last games are Friday. So playoffs start Monday. Before we
Oh,
get to that,
that's so exciting. Friday could be Nashville could possibly be playing for their lives.
do you want to talk about playoff updates real quick now then?
Yeah, might as well. Might as well.
All right. So since I don't remember who was already clinched last time we
I
recorded.
think it was just the six in each conference. Since
All
then,
right.
I think Seattle's clinched.
Seattle has clinched 100 points on the year for them. What a fucking turnaround from their shitty franchise expansion draft.
Dude, they are completely not doing it the Vegas way, and yet they're still in the same place right now. So if they, I mean, could be looking good. Also, Matty Beniers, Calder Trophy. Some say yes.
I tell you another rookie right now.
What's up?
I
You couldn't?
a rookie who could potentially be it.
I forgot who the other rookies that are like in the running.
Let's see.
I can find out.
Rookie. Oh yeah, he's got it locked up.
Yeah, he's got like 30 more points than the next rookie.
No, 9.
Yeah, that's what I said. Rookies. There was a goalie too. I forgot who.
Stu Skinner.
Oh, Matthias Michelli. Stu Skinner. Okay, yeah. I can't believe I guess he's a rookie. He's like 24, 25, isn't he?
Yeah.
Owen. I think Owen Power was getting votes. For Calder. Jesus. I always like looking at this and being like, damn, these kids are going to be real good. You got in Buffalo right now, Jack Quinn, Owen Power, and JJ Paterka. 37 points, 35 points, 32 points. Your rookies are putting up points, man. Like you're in a good place for the future.
If only you had fucking John Gibson.
Only you made the move, but you wanted to hold on to those future draft picks.
For no fucking reason.
No fucking reason.
But yeah, so Seattle clinched. Right now, there is a 2-team battle for the Central Division title. Colorado and Dallas both have 104 points. Colorado does have a game in hand. Minnesota is only 2 points back. You think I mean, they're pretty much fighting to try to pass whoever ends up in second for that home ice.
But Minnesota, it's already been, I guess, not reported, but like they don't give a shit about home ice. That's why they rested their players against the Hawks.
Oh, okay.
Like they could have played Kaprizov and all those guys, but they're like, I mean, if we win, we win. If we're not, we're resting our guys. Like we're not going to let them potentially get hurt in games that are meaningless when we're already making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And oh damn. Okay. Yeah.
I think Vegas all has, but the first overall spot in the West locked up. I mean,
maybe.
I mean, yeah, they're at 107 points with 2 games left. I mean, like I said, Colorado still has 3 games to play. So I mean,
I was thinking the Pacific because Edmonton can jump Vegas in the Pacific for the first spot.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right. So Edmonton could even do it. Yeah.
Yeah, if Edmonton wins their last 2 and Vegas loses one of their last 2, oh damn, Vegas plays Seattle twice.
Oh, so that's actually a lot closer than
that'd be really funny. because if Vegas loses both games and Edmonton wins one, Edmonton takes first. Oh, LA's playing Anaheim, so that's not going to really do anything.
LA's locked into that third spot.
They don't have to be, because
They
if
do.
Seattle beats
LA,
Vegas twice,
no, LA can, the best LA can do is 104 points, so they're locked in that third spot.
I'm saying if they no, because if Seattle wins their last two games against Vegas, they have 104 points.
God damn, I keep forgetting about fucking Seattle.
Yeah,
God damn it.
it's funny because the way that the Pacific is right now with Vegas, Edmonton, LA, and Seattle 1 through 4, that can get completely flipped around and have it be like Edmonton, Vegas, Seattle, LA.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck, I always forget about fucking Seattle. Like,
So we could potentially get either let's see, because first in the West isn't determined quite yet. So Vegas could play. God, this is gonna be so weird. Vegas could end up playing Winnipeg, or they can end up playing LA, but they could end up playing LA as a 1 versus 8. No, not 1 versus 8. A
no.
1
2.
versus 7. A 2 versus 7, or they can play them as a Pacific 2 and 3.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities in these last couple of games for these teams to be completely moved around, all within the Western Conference, which is just so weird to think about. Because you feel like they're all locked into like where they are, but it's not true at all. Like,
oh yeah,
fucking even Minnesota could technically end up finishing first in the Central.
they could technically, yeah. I mean,
Colorado would have to lose a game to
Colorado and Dallas would have to lose out essentially, and Minnesota has a win, but
Jesus. Here's the other crazy ass thing too. So the fight for that last wild card spot in the West between Nashville and Winnipeg, they each have 2 games left, and both of them end up playing Minnesota and Colorado. So not only those games have implications for that 8th place, but also the Minnesota and Colorado within that top 3.
yeah, there's a lot of.
It's so weird. A lot of movement.
I love that the last games of the season mean something, and it's not just like, all right, let's just get these done. It's like,
right,
it means something, and I hate Nashville. I hate them, but I want them to make the playoffs because it's so funny that they were sellers and they sold to Winnipeg.
Yes,
and then they passed Winnipeg.
Dude, I don't know what it is about Nashville that it's just their main guys get hurt and the other young guys step up and lead them, and UC Saros just turns it on and decides to become a brick wall for the last 20 games of the year. But goddamn, did you see that their game against Calgary where they eliminated them?
Mm-hmm.
So they went to the shootout, and a lot of people were just shitting on Suter because he put Nick Ritchie in the shootout in the must-win situation and never used Tyler Toffoli. Like, what?
Suter's gonna be done with this shit. He's like, let's go home. I'm done.
Yeah, are you like, what? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Jeez, what a game that was, too. Gee, 2-2 going into OT, go the whole OT, goes to a shootout.
And then you want to talk about tight. Yes. Let's go to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, dude.
Metro Division. Carolina 109, New Jersey 108, Rangers 107. So, I mean, Rangers still technically have a shot at winning the Metro.
Yep.
Very slim shot, but they still have a shot. New Jersey clearly still has a chance. Carolina still has a chance. The only matchup, we have essentially 3 games left in the season.
Not even. It's only 2 for most teams.
For most teams, and only 2 of the 16 playoff match or teams know who they're playing.
Yeah. 3 teams for sure are in the exact spot they're going to be right now.
And it's all in the Atlantic.
Which is so weird.
But yeah, so Boston is locked in that first overall. Toronto is facing Tampa, and Toronto has home ice in that one, which don't think they had last year.
I don't think so either.
So that might finally help them out here. Tampa's just
no. Toronto did have home ice.
They did.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. Tampa's just not been playing good. They're 3-7 in their last 10, but I mean they don't give a shit. Let them rest and all that.
I mean, aren't they playing Toronto currently?
Yep. So a little playoff preview there. But here is where it gets really tight. Here is the wild card race. Florida has the first spot with 92 points. Islanders second spot, 91 points. Pittsburgh is sitting there with 90 points. And Buffalo is still hanging on with 87 points. Florida and the Islanders have one game left. Pittsburgh has one, but as you heard earlier, they're playing Chicago and they are currently losing.
And then they have Columbus.
And then they have Columbus. There was a bunch of scenarios I saw.
So it's if Pittsburgh wins tonight and they beat Columbus, they're in. If Pittsburgh loses either game and like the Islanders win, then Pittsburgh's out. If Buffalo, like they need to win out completely to get a chance, and Florida and Islanders, like one of those two teams have to lose, with Pittsburgh losing at least one game.
So today's situations, Buffalo is eliminated if they lose in regulation to the Devils, or a overtime and shootout loss plus Pittsburgh wins in regulation or OT. They're eliminated. Carolina wins the division if they beat Detroit, which I think they are. Yeah, they're up 3-1.
They're winning.
Third. And New Jersey loses to Buffalo in regulation. Florida clinches if Buffalo loses to the Devils and Pittsburgh loses in regulation to the Hawks. Winnipeg clinches and Nashville's eliminated if Winnipeg gets 1 point.
Yeah.
And then the Knights clinch the division if they win and an Edmonton loss, or they lose in overtime or shootout and Edmonton loses in regulation.
Gotta love it. And Buffalo's currently losing to New Jersey, so that's not looking good. It's 3-1 there too.
Yeah, so
we need Columbus to just win against Philly, but they're losing currently 3-2. And that's just for last place. Like if Columbus loses that or wins that game, that just puts us in a much better spot.
Yeah, I love this. I love hockey.
There's not many inconsequential games here. Winnipeg's beating Minnesota currently 2-1 at the end of the first.
So I mean, the playoffs could be set tonight, essentially.
Yeah, it could. I still think there could be movement within the playoffs, but the seeds, or not the seeds, but the teams could be locked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, man. What are you doing?
Yeah. Fucking god damn it. Fuck you, Crosby. All right. Quick notes and we'll wrap up here. New Jersey Devils signed their highly touted defensive prospect Luke Hughes. So the Super Hughes brothers era has officially started in New Jersey. Quinn's, you know, the meme of Squidward looking down at Patrick and SpongeBob running through the yard. Yeah, there's Quinn Hughes up as Squidward just looking down at his two brothers, living it up in New Jersey right now.
Living it up in New Jersey. Probably living in New York.
Yeah. Pavelski and Claude Giroux both reached 1,000 points for their career last night. Pretty cool milestone for those guys.
Yeah, especially to do it on the same night too, which is kind of funny.
Are you talking about Boston? EK65.
Hell yeah, buddy.
6th defenseman in NHL history to reach 100 career points, or not career points, 100 points in the season. He's the first one to do it since 1991, 1992 when Brian Leach did it. EK65 back, baby.
Yeah. Who would have thought he would have had such a monster season this year?
Doing it on a lottery team.
Yeah, right. Oh my god. Are they still bottom three? No, it's Anaheim.
No,
well, I mean, I guess technically, yes, they're a lottery.
It's
team,
what,
but
2022 is who can jump up to first?
Probably.
So it's essentially St. Louis, or is it 23?
22. 20, no, 23.
23. So Detroit, Washington, Vancouver, Philadelphia, Arizona, Montreal, San Jose, Anaheim, Columbus, and Chicago are the only teams as of this moment eligible to win Connor Bedard.
Let's go.
St. Louis could still. I hope St. Louis finishes 1 point out of that. I really do. Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
I do too.
And then the last thing you brought this up is 60 goals.
Yeah. 60 bingos. First time since 95, 96 that we had 2 players in one season reach the 60 goal mark, with Pasta getting a Hattie the other night and McDavid just going off, and he's got what, like 65 at this point, maybe? I think he has 63. I don't know if he's got more.
He has 64.
64. Okay.
Right in the middle of your two guesses.
Yeah, there we go. I just saw this on Reddit. Apparently, Ovechkin has become the all-time shots leader, and it's not like a new thing.
I was gonna say, I feel like
I don't remember seeing anything about that. But 6,351 shots currently, and Ray Bork was the previous leader with 6,209, which is crazy to me that a defenseman was the leader in that.
It was called Paul Coffey, though.
It was Paul Coffey?
Was it Paul Coffey or was it Ray Bork?
No, it was Bork.
Bork, sorry. I see 77. I just instantly think Coffey. That's my bad.
Okay.
That's my bad.
Let's see. What was the other things? Just Luke Hughes. There was also Matt Neese. He signed with Toronto. He's like their big prospect.
And it caused a bunch of fucking problems for Toronto in the salary cap.
Hilarious. Whatever. Like the salary cap doesn't matter in it.
They have four goalies at one point signed to amateur tryouts because they didn't know if they were going to get emergency status.
That's funny. What? There was another signing. Oh, Brock Faber in Minnesota. So Minnesota loses 2 of their big, like University of Minnesota loses 2 of their big guys in Neese and Faber.
Michigan lost Hughes.
Luke Hughes.
Probably going to lose Fantelli this year.
Possibly, you never know. Like if he goes to one of the bottom teams, if he went to the Hawks, like I don't see the Hawks just being like, yeah, man, like
you and Nazar stay there.
Yeah,
play together.
Oh yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah.
The other thing
the national championship, and then come bring the title with it.
I was gonna say Quinnipiac won the national title.
Yeah.
And you thought I was having a stroke when I was saying that earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what you were fucking saying.
Quinnipiac won the title. So what? What did you say?
Quinnipiac. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Hey,
10 seconds in overtime too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like right away.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there's any other like statistical things that are kind of cool that have happened, but just a crazy season, really.
It's gonna be fun. And then I think we're gonna have to do like 2 episodes, like 1 episode for playoffs and 1 episode for like to recap this year, because so much happened this year.
Yeah.
So all right. I think that about does it for us. Episode 219. What are you calling it, Tanner?
Hey.
We're on deck this time.
I was not ready. What was it? What was notable? What are we doing?
Do something for Taves?
What did you say?
Something for Taves?
Yeah, man. I guess you could do that, but like it still isn't over. So that would be like a next week thing.
Okay.
I think.
All right, we talked about the games, tenority. We went on to defenseman spew about letting
two more L's. I don't know. No.
Almost
man.
Almost over.
Welcome, Drew Commesso.
How? Almost over. How about that?
Almost there. Yep.
Almost there. Boom.
1 more mile.
All right, episode 219, almost there. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, social media at WCB Podcast. And yeah, we will see you on the next one.
All right. Love you, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.